All right. Mocha, are you ready? Yes. Good girl. Yeah, good girl. All right. So we're going to start talking about the place command and our markers. Place is eventually going to mean go to your bed, lay there until you've been told otherwise. And the markers that we're going to be using are good and yes. One tells her to stay in position. In this scenario, it's just telling her to stay on place. And then yes is allowing her out of position. Both of them have a reward attached. So for example, if I say Miss Mocha place, I'm going to add some leash pressure, guiding her up. As soon as all four paws get there, my leash pressure releases and I can mark good. And I'm going to go in and pay her with that reward. So good is just telling her you're doing the right thing. We just want to keep seeing more of it. If she were to break out of position, see right there, I felt like she was about to, I'm just going to apply some leash pressure to reinforce that boundary. And this is a big part of why I like to explain this with the place bed, because it adds a nice visual for the owners to understand when their dog is in position versus when they're out of position. So as long as they're on the bed, good. I can continue to mark and reward. Good girl. Now if I want her to get off of that bed, I'm just going to use a different marker. Yes. Good girl. And she's allowed to come off and get that food reward. Good girl. And we can rinse and repeat this process. Place. So I'm cueing that command. I'm adding some leash pressure, guiding her up to the bed. As soon as she gets there, there we go. That pressure turns off. Aha. So she's kind of beating me to the punch already. But the final goal of place is to go to the bed and lay all the way down. She's already offering that because that's what we've worked on. So I'm going to go ahead and mark good and reward that. Good girl. Now, a big part of place is showing her how to remain on the bed despite potential distractions that might be happening in the environment. So if I just start to move around a little bit, you can see even there she kind of leaned forward like, oh, are we moving? Good. As long as she remains in position, we can continue to mark and reward. And then slowly over time, introducing more and more distractions. I might do stuff like dropping the leash or walking away, adding farther and farther distances, just to proof the understanding that as long as you're on place, or we've told you to be on place, you should stay there until you hear that magic word, yes, which allows you out. Yeah, good girl. Mocha, place. Beautiful. I'm gonna let her settle all the way down. Good. Mark and reward. Yeah. This time I'm just going to start to add some more intense distractions. It's just me kind of running around. Good girl. And you can tell she's already seen me do this before. She's like, I know better now. Good girl. If she were to break out of that position, all I would do is use my leash, add a little pressure to guide her back. And again, she's what, 6 to 8 pounds probably. So it doesn't take a ton of pressure, but I am guiding with that leash and then being well timed with when that leash releases. So as soon as she gets onto that bed, that's when my leash will relax. Yes. Good girl. So biggest takeaway from this video is obviously the place command, but also the markers. They don't just apply to place, they apply to pretty much everything we're doing, but this is a nice visual to understand it. So if I send her to place and I want to release her right away, I can just go, yes. And you notice I back up a little bit to kind of encourage her to come to me. But if I want to remain in that position, place. I'm going to let her settle. Good. And I can mark good. I like that she perked up, but she didn't break out of position. It's a good sign that she's starting to understand what that marker entails. That, oh, I've heard that magic word. I'm now going to get rewarded for it. Yes. Good girl. Nice. All done. So right now she's just wearing the e-collar. She's getting used to just it being on around her neck, and I'm just continuing to train like normal. Starting tomorrow, we're actually going to start introducing that a little bit more in training because she's doing fantastic. Nice job, kid.